Do I consider this channel to be a dead one? I'll answer you in a deep cut minute. Look, I'm Casey, I'm Super Saf, I'm Viper, just don't stress about it. Vision Pro, am I in or out for version 1? It's not available in Canada yet, and normally that just would not stop me. I hopped across the Great Wall of the North to buy the OG iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, and HomePod in the US before they were available in Canada. But it looks like it'll only work with US Apple accounts, and I wouldn't be able to get Apple Care for a $3,500, starting at $3,500 helmet. So I'm holding like Braveheart before a charge. Once it does get to Canada, it'll be just omega supremely hard to resist. Because if you look at the long arc of history or just sci-fi, being able to manipulate virtual objects in the real world makes all the kind of sense that does. It's just natural, tactile, inevitable. And while I don't think it'll be with Daft Punk gear stapled to our heads, I do think this is how we get from here to there, from now to the future. Helmet, glasses, contacts, photon interceptors, ocular implants, and what strata of nerd just doesn't want to help test drive whatever comes after the not so fast enough horses? Am I still all in wanting a voice-based operating system through systems like Google's or Apple's assistants? And I mean, yeah, absolutely. If the goal is to get to something like Jarvis in an Avengers movie, part of that is having the end game of the Vision Pro create a fully manipulable virtual environment in here, in the real world. But the other part is being able to talk through what we want to do, not just touch through it. So while your hands are like zooming, pinching to zoom the chest plate, your voice can say, make it hot rod red. All of the first generation of assistants like Siri and Cortana and Alexa and Google Assistant could do basic natural language parsing and sequential inference, at least to some level, but they just fell on their consistency asses so damn always. And current large language models are way more conversational, but they're subject to literal hallucinations. Beyond the horizon though, as the mist dissolves and the polygons render, it's not hard to imagine the next generation of voice OS that lets us talk and touch, conversate and manipulate in a way that feels right. Like natural, like Jarvis in the Avengers movies. So again, it's just about taking these base forms painfully through all their many evolutions to their final forms. Is it worth waiting for the M3 MacBook Air or just getting the M2? And the ride or dies of you already know my always advice for this. For any upgrade, wait as long as you can possibly wait and then get the best possible upgrade you can get and enjoy the hell out of it, because there will for effectively ever be something new and something next. So just wait, upgrade, repeat. Do I have any plans on returning to my previous content in any way? And I mean, I'm still gonna talk about Apple like I'm doing in this video, just not all the time and not in the same way, because I think that kind of stuff is just been beyond played out at this point, but more on that in a future video. Do I miss the MacBreak Weekly crew? And yes, absolutely, all the time. We stream MacBreak live every Tuesday for like a decade. It'd be impossible not to, but they're in fantastic hands, doing fantastic work, and now I have the absolute pleasure of listening to them every week. Genuine question, good, because we hate the disingenuous ones around here. What do you actually do at YouTube now, and has your role changed or grown since you first started? So the role itself is the same. I spend about half my day with the product teams and the policy teams, helping them better understand creators, and the other half working with creators to help us better understand YouTube. And while that core mission hasn't changed, I feel like I understand YouTube and creators just way, way better now, so I have more to contribute, if that makes any sense. Do I think all tech companies will develop a smart ring, like a fitness ring? And well, first, Jacqueline, you're amazing. And anyone who watches and likes the kind of reviews that I used to do can go hit up Jacqueline's channel for like the next generation evolution of all that. But yeah, I think so. I think smart rings are like the ultimate distillation of that type of device, like the iPod Shuffle to the watch's Nano, just tiny sensor fusion hubs for our fingers. And that makes them so much more accessible for so many more people. And also because phones are already external cybernetics and wearables are basically on-body cybernetics, and to get to the inevitable internal in-body cybernetics of the future, distillation, miniaturization, mainstreaming, all of that has to happen. So like I talked about with the Vision Pro and assistants, we have to go through all of those steps, the ones of the past, the ones of the present, to get to where we want to go in the future. And it feels like the more companies investing in that, the more people will begin to invest in that, and then we'll just get there sooner, I hope. What is my favorite go-to comfort food? So fun fact about me is that I tend not to have favorites. I like variety. But that said, I probably like pasta, like the high protein, high fiber lasagna I've been working to get better at, or like these high protein, high fiber pancakes. And yes, I am totally on the high protein, high fiber bandwagon. And both of those really do max out my comfort stat. And if I've forgotten anything, I'll just drop an extra Insta right here with it. Hi, Rene. I would really like your take on AI's immediate impact. I guess it's the Ian Malcolm thing, right? Humanity thinking so much about what we can do that we never seem to stop and think if we should do it or not, splitting the atom and potentially setting the atmosphere on fire, playing with antimatter and maybe incinerating the planet, becoming an organic bootloader for an interstellar machine intelligence. Like, we're all YOLO. If only we all became watchmakers instead of ending up beyond the rim hearing, we sent you the Terminator, we sent you the Matrix, we even sent you Age of Ultron. What are you doing here? But I used to paint with a paintbrush, then an airbrush, then the OG Photoshop toolset, now algorithms and generative AI, and none of them took over from me as the artist. They just let me do more and faster than ever before. And the atom didn't scorch the earth or antimatter sunder it, at least not yet. So I really just kind of hold to hope that the best in us, all of us, will help steer AI away from world breaker and firmly, so firmly, vice grippedly towards human force multiplier. Any chance of me doing a new podcast with Georgia? And no, unless she tells me to, and then yes, absolutely. Hi, Georgia. How will AI impact content creators over the next 5 years? I think YouTube legit solved for distribution right out the gate. For over a decade and a half now, any solo creator can hit upload and share our voice, get it in front of the whole entire world in a way that only Hollywood, networks, or record labels could in the before times. But it never solved for production, for a solo creator like me getting our vision in front of the world in a way that currently only Industrial Lights and Magic or Weta workshops or a whole entire animation studio can do. But AI seems like it will finally deliver on that promise. It'll finally let us produce, not instead of us, but more of us, more capabilities at a bigger scale than ever before. Do I see myself being more active on Threads in the future? And yes, still not plugged in. And the answer is yes, I already am. As a creator, I never want to have all my content eggs in one platform basket, even and especially one that I work for. And also, so many of my OG friends have just fled Twitter's Edge Lord of the Flies Xification for more Fediverse-y pastures that Threads really is an interesting place to be right now. And if you'd asked me that, around Cambridge Analytica times, I just never would have believed it, never saw it coming. Do I consider my channel, this channel, to be a dead one? And I actually consider it to be undead, but not in the slow, shuffling, Living Dead zombie sort of way, more in the fast, furious rage zombie way, because it's hungry, it's coming for you, and it's gonna just be one hell of a ride.